The return of the not-so-smartphone. Can cheap and cheerful handsets help stop the losses at Nokia? Plus, trying to stay in touch, but Microsoft's latest offerings struggle to make up for a slumping PC market. Hello and welcome you with World Business Report. I'm Sally Bundock. Also in the programme, Japan's exports have gone up in March. Were they given a big boost by the weakest yen for 4 years? We will assess. First, though, it's a very big day for technology news, with some of the best-known names reporting results, two in particular who found themselves on the wrong side of a fast-changing business. We'll talk about Microsoft in a moment, but first of all, let's focus on Nokia. It's expected to reveal another quarter of losses. The once dominant phone maker has seen sales fall over the past couple of years as it struggles to compete in the highly competitive smartphone market. But for those millions of users reliant on cheaper, simpler handsets, the sturdy Nokia remains king. Alice Baxter reports.
In cities like London, the smartphone is king, and that's a market dominated by the likes of Apple and Samsung. But for millions around the world, Nokia remains the brand of choice, and that's because of phones like this. It's simple, and at just $20, it's widely affordable. It's the humble mobile rather than the smartphone that's been keeping the lights on for Nokia. And it's hoping its new 105 model, recently launched in India, will build on its current success in the emerging markets of Asia-Pacific and Africa.
Well, Nokia has put a lot of effort into making the phones fit the way people live and builds in features to work with that. So things like a torch so that you can see your way on an unlit road, a dust-proof case because many of the environments are rather dusty, the ability to use it one-handed because you may be leading cattle or ploughing a field at the same time as using the phone, an FM radio because for many people that is their music, 2 SIM cards because people do juggle between tariffs at different times of the day, and it provides SMS-based services to help people understand where crops grow best, where they can sell them at the best price in local markets and so on.
But despite the attention to detail, Nokia faces increasing competition from those also wanting a slice of the as yet unconnected world of potential mobile phone users.
Because it's done so well, there are others trying to stamp on its turf. So we'll see competitive devices from the likes of Samsung, ZTE, Huawei, trying to drill down in price points, and new operating systems like Android and the Mozilla Firefox, all vying for this area where the next billion or next billion and a half of people in these emerging markets are going to become connected and become mobile users.
So today,
while Nokia focuses on making an impact in the highly profitable smartphone markets of North America and Europe,
I am so excited and proud to introduce you to the Nokia Lumia 800.
it must also fight if it's to keep its current pole position among the growing number of mobile users elsewhere around the world. Alice Baxter, BBC News.
So from Nokia to Microsoft, and tough times for this man, Steve Ballmer, who is, of course, the man in charge of Microsoft at the moment. It's the world's biggest software maker and is still reliant on the PC for the bulk of its profits. And it's a market that appears to be collapsing. Sales of personal computers plunged 14% in the first 3 months of this year. That's the biggest slump since records began. Microsoft's attempts to move with the times, its Windows phones and Surface tablets, as well as its latest Windows 8 operating system, have not been a hit, and all this is likely to weigh on the company's quarterly results, which are out today as well. From New York, here's Samira Hussain.
Shoppers at this Manhattan electronics store have many choices. As they look for new devices for emailing and web surfing, increasingly they're not looking at these. Instead, they're looking at these.
As consumers move away from traditional desktops and laptop computers in favor of smartphones and tablets, companies that depend on the strength of the personal computing market, like Microsoft, are now struggling in a post-PC environment.
And the trend is worrying for a company whose core business is in personal computers. From January to March of this year, 76.3 million personal computers were shipped worldwide, plunging almost 14% from the same time a year ago, the most significant decline in almost 2 decades. So Microsoft's answer to some of those declines? Windows 8. By giving the new operating system the look and feel of a smartphone, it was hoping to reinvigorate PC sales. But 6 months since its launch, it hasn't done much.
It would be wrong to say that the PC is dead and no one is buying them anymore. That's still a very large number, but it is correct to say that it's in decline and that the growth is in tablets and smartphones, areas where Microsoft has offerings, but those offerings have not gotten good traction yet.
The Surface, Microsoft's foray into the tablet frenzy. The company doesn't say how many they sell, but estimates hover around about 1 million units. Compare that to 1.5 million Android phones that are activated every day. The Surface is struggling to gain traction. But it may not be all that bad. Consumers still want options.
I definitely don't want to have anything that stays on a desk. Everything has to be mobile.
I can understand the convenience, but I'm a desktop person all the way, yeah.
I have the iMac, I have a laptop, I have a MacBook Air, I have a tablet.
The PC is still far from becoming obsolete. Despite recent stumbles, Microsoft still has time to reboot its offerings in this new touchscreen world. Samira Hussain, BBC News, New York.
And that's almost all from me on World Business Report today. A slightly smaller version of the programme due to the breaking story in Texas, which of course we're trying to keep you across the explosion in Texas. But just to show you the markets in Asia, we have got earnings from Google later as well, so keep an eye out for those. I'll see you soon.